fellow speakers, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm a bit nervous today, and also I take it as a privilege to be in front of you, which I was dreaming in 2013. To talk a bit about how it became. So I should first salute all of you you all are ready to take a challenge and go wide. For me, it's not the business what you do, it's the business how you do matters. It's not the business what you do. So I'll tell a bit about how it happened. That happened, I did not have any idea of becoming an entrepreneur, to be very honest. I was a soldier before. I was passed out from Pakistan Military Academy and posted to Northern Theatre. From Revirasa to Agni Level 4, I was in a battle. And rendered twice with gallantries, be the youngest to be in army with a gallantry. And resigned prematurely following PQHRM from Dietala to Colombo every weekend. From night mail back to Dietala. And in the first lecture I listened to late Professor Raigamage, I thought I should resign. Certain circumstances made me to think that I thought I should become an entrepreneur because I realized the skill I had. I'm not a seller. I can't sell. I'm weak in public relations, but yet I realized the strategy I had in me. So started my company, I started my MBA in January, I think 2nd January. So I started incorporated my company on 29th February and gave resignations in April and started business formally in July. So I had only one car, that was only as I had. And also taken from a loan and had to sell my car and bought a scooter. A bit nervous, I read 26,000 kilometers in a scooter. I followed my MBA using the scooter. I parked it at the ATM where I have the bicycle park. And a few days I rid the bike was 47 kilometers from here to my home under rain, heavy rain, from here to home. So I had the challenge of hiding my scooter at that time. That was the only challenge I had. So no one accepted me to sell my product, Job Factory. So I was struggling. So I had the only thing what I had was my credit card, HSBC, anyone from HSBC. So I bought one chair and a table using my credit card. So I did not, my father doesn't have a job, my wife doesn't work. I had 2 children, one school. If you are not ready to take that risk, if you are not ready to sacrifice your car, never get into business, never become an entrepreneur. So I drive a petrol today, Y61. But I'm ready to sell my Y61 and get into scooter tomorrow if my bottom line says, do that. That sacrifice you should be able to do today. For a few years it's all about me, now it's all about we. Now I have a team of 140 people and deployed in few companies and working 5 global operations. So we started with Job Factory and then started our outsourcing business, typical outsourcing we started. And now we moved into process outsourcing and we have 1 New Zealand operation, 2 Singaporean and getting to 1 Saudi Arabian operation. And we are getting nearly trying to end up this year with 70,000 USDs from global operations. That's a big thing for us. Because I started with a credit card. It's a big thing for me. So now we all have seen in leisure operations we have 4-man teams into outbound training, and Askawa is a campground. I think if Dr. Travis can recall, that was one thing I did in the small business management. So I told that one day I bring people who in the city hotels to Askawa. So next Saturday, so we are getting the first Swedish batch to play paintball. So we are. Why we say we achieved? We have entrepreneurial skills. We started with zero capital. You don't want to have a capital to start up. You need to have the skill. So we did not have acceptance, I said. So I went to meet people, I went to meet my friends, meet best friends, some best friends, but they did not accept. Very few accepted. I should always, I can't tell the names, but I always call them for certain special occasions. Some people gave the hand. If you do not ready to face that challenge, if you think that okay, you should be accepted. No, they don't accept. So pricing was a challenge. So everyone competition pricing was yet. So we said we were our strategy was, so we were the most expensive brand in all brands. We are the most expensive. In Asko paintball, we are expensive because we focus on that market. So if you get into the reviews of every brand what we have, if you find one single bad review, I'll resign tomorrow. There's no single bad review in all the reviews in all the brands what we have, because we do what we are supposed to do. Managing cash. Sometimes I had to withdraw cash from my credit card to pay bills, my personal credit card bills. Initially, because people sometimes purposely they delay the payments. That you may have to tolerate. So attraction of talents. You only one guy in the office. How you are going to hire the second person? So when you have two people in the office, how you are going to hire the third person? It's a challenge. So now, challenges today. So we need the capital for expansions. That is why we want to go to the public. So we have very clear vision of getting to the public sector, getting us listed on a stock exchange. Now fortunately now this budget, we are getting the Empower board, which is less than not the main board, again less than the Divisaru, so we get the Empower board. You need to have only, we are nearly nearly 1.5 million in 1 week. We earned because of that. The dollars reserves what we have. So way forward is, so we want move out from the typical headhunter recruiter, and we want Job Factory to make a search engine. It's a search engine as of now, but we have not advertised. We are still in the process of the tweaking, the bugs and all that in the Job Factory. It's a search engine. You can search millions of jobs. If you are a job seeker, get in the portal. If you are a corporate, you can see millions of talents in the portal. Search, it's like a Google. Job Factory is like a Google search engine. That's all. So one is we want to go to processes and USD. Our focus is USD. Tourism, Ask-Gov and beyond. So that is our plan. So ecotourism. This is our position in the market, probably within high Google performance. That's one thing we start. If you want, if you want your business to start up a business, first thing what I have done was I started my job website and did the optimization. So what we got to PIM. So I'm not in front of you if PIM was not there, to be very honest, because I didn't have any intention of becoming an author. It's all about late Professor Lieneke, and again, inspiration given by Dr. Travis. I was sitting like you in 2013 and listened to a few entrepreneurs delivering their lectures, even how they came out, and I wanted to being in front of you on that day. So I'm not here. There's no company called DFS Holdings today if PIM was not there. So I should be thankful to PIM and the faculty who inspired me to become an author. So crux of the story. So you need to be passionate. If you don't have the passion like other people said, so we can't become an author. It's not the business what you do, it's how you do. You need to have the passion. And there's nothing called risk. If you are in the position of calculating the risk, for me, you're not an author. It's all about the skills. You don't want to worry about to take risk if you have the skill. First check whether you have the skill of bouncing back when you fail. Whether you have the skill of passion and going, if you say something that you do, you need to do that. If you have that traits of the skill, whatever you call, you don't want to worry about taking risk. So blasting the bridge, what I learned from Dr. Travis. So unless you blast the bridge, that won't work. Discipline. You need to get a salary from your company if you are starting. Don't try to think that it's my money, is what I earned. No, nothing. It won't work. Get a salary and become an employee and go ahead. Not that you can't take money at whenever you want and deposit whenever you want. Can't. Discipline, you need to have that discipline. Taxes. If you think that you should be not pay taxes, you should. For me, I don't believe that. Pay taxes. True that so people play out, but yet being a corporate citizen, pay taxes, because we all got education from the taxes of the people. So we need to pay taxes. And play the game with all the rules and regulations, because people are looking at you. If you play out the ETF of the employees, if you don't pay the employee the salary what you are supposed to pay by the law, so don't think of doing CSR for the community and doing donations, because people are looking at you, especially when you are small. So you need to get the trust of them. My third employee is still with me. Fourth employee is still with me. Second employee I fired. So I'm very good at firing. So these things are the trust of the stories. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunities. I should be very humble and thankful to the faculty of PIM, especially for Professor Ajanta Dharmasiri and Dr. Travis Ferra, who let me stand in front of you. Thank you very much, guys.